Shri Guru Charitre, Chapter 13. Narasimha Saraswati's Healing Touch. This chapter describes the visit of Guru Nath along with his disciples to his parents at Karanjapuri. From there, he again sets out on his itinerary. At Vasar Brahmeshwar, Guru Nath cures the chronic stomach ulcer of a Brahmin who was about to kill himself, being unable to bear the excruciating pain of the ulcer. Namdarak said to Siddha Yogi that listening to the Guru's life story, he felt that it was like drinking nectar. He pleaded with the Siddha not to stop the narration but to continue with it. He said he was particularly eager to know any incident relating to Sri Narasimha Saraswati during his stay at the holy Prayaga and where he went thereafter. Siddha then continued his narration. Many more disciples flocked to Narasimha Saraswati at Prayaga. Some of them were Bala Saraswati, Krishna Saraswati, Upendra Saraswati, Madhav Saraswati, Sadananda Saraswati, Dhyana Jyoti Saraswati, and also Siddha himself. He was day in and day out engaged in giving spiritual discourses and upadesha to people and drawing them and guiding them on the spiritual path. Just as during infancy he changed a piece of iron into a block of gold, now he was transforming men of clay into spiritual gems. To the common people and laity, he was preaching moral laws and religious disciplines. To Jijnasu, he was imparting Vedic wisdom. To sadhakas, he was giving yogic instructions and guidance and spiritual enlightenment. He was himself an example unto all. His life itself, in truth, was his message. His darshan itself uplifted man ethically and spiritually. It was nearly 36 years since Sri Narasimha Saraswati left his parental home, and his parents were anxious and pining to see him. As per the promise he made to them, he thought that he should give them the joy of seeing him. He came to Karanjanagar along with his disciples. The joy of the parents knew no bounds. His mother now vividly remembered her previous life's incidents. How Sripada Srivallabha blessed her, taught her about the Shani Pradosha Puja, the performance of which found its fruition in her becoming the mother of Sri Narasimha Saraswati, who was none else but the reincarnation of Sripada Srivallabha Deva. She realized how blessed she was. Sri Narasimha Saraswati told his mother that she might not have been happy about his have taken to sannyasashrama because of her love for him. He explained to her the unique merits of sannyasashrama. He said it was the spiritual acme of life. It would besides liberate not only the one who has taken to sannyasa, but also all his ancestors for several generations. He blessed the parents, saying that they would spend their last days at the holy Kashi and would certainly attain salvation and liberation from rebirth. He further indicated that his own taking to sannyasashrama had a very special purpose, the purpose of revivifying the glory of sannyasashrama, the significance of which was getting missed by people because of the growing materialistic outlook and way of life. Narahari's mother, Amba Bhavani, had a daughter born to her after Narahari left home. Her name was Ratnai or Ratnabai. After her marriage, she approached Narasimha Saraswati and prayed that she be saved. She said the problems of life were almost crushing her. Narasimha Saraswati told her that the duty of a woman was to serve her husband, considering him as God. That alone is sufficient for a woman to attain salvation, he said. He also foretold that her husband would be taking sannyasa, but very much late in life after both of them had become fairly old. He further said that because of some of the sins committed by her in her previous life, she was destined to suffer in this life from a dreadful skin disease, but that also will be late in life. He told her that she could, however, overcome it if she made a pilgrimage to the holy Papa Vinashini Tirtha near Gandharvapura, that is Ganagapur. He assured her that she would have his darshan at the time of her death and she would attain salvation. As almost everyone in the town wanted Sri Narasimha Saraswati to visit their homes for bhiksha, it is said that he took many forms and blessed each house by accepting bhiksha in the span of few days he stayed in the town. Sri Narasimha Saraswati, after visiting his parents, went on pilgrimage to Trayambak and Nasik. He narrated to his disciple there the Gautami Mahima, what severe penance Gautama Rishi did to bring Ganga, Godavari river, to the earth. River Godavari is an aspect of the holy Ganga itself, and it was Gautama Rishi's penances that made Godavari to descend and come down for the purification of the land and its people. During his pilgrimages, Narasimha Saraswati came to a certain place called Manjarika on the banks of river Godavari. He met one very learned Pandit there by the name Madhavaranya. Madhavaranya was overjoyed at meeting Sri Narasimha Saraswati and sang many songs in praise of him. He sought his blessings and grace. Gurunath revealed to him Vishwarupa and then advised to him to always do the Manasa Puja to Lord Narasimha. He said that all his earthly needs would be fulfilled by the grace of Lord Narasimha and that he would attain Brahmaloka after his death. Siddha Yogi continued narrating about the healing powers of Sri Narasimha Saraswati that could free human beings from all ailments. From Manjarika, Sri Narasimha Saraswati came to Vasar Brahmeshwara, that is Brahmeshwara Kshetra, which is also on the banks of river Godavari. There he saw one Brahmin near the river. The Brahmin was suffering from severe stomachache for several years. He used to get unbearable pain and it was difficult for him to take food. He was fed up with his life and decided to end his life, and for that purpose came to the river to drown himself by tying a heavy boulder around his neck. The all-knowing and omniscient Narasimha Saraswati came near him and asked him what his trouble was. The Brahmin told him about his misery and said that he would not be able to bear and put up with it any longer. Sri Narasimha Saraswati comforted him by saying that he had a panacea, a unique remedy for him, and he would be free from the ailment soon, and he was not to worry himself about it any longer. Just at the juncture, the Gramadhipati of the place, a Brahmin of Kaundilya, Gotra, and by the name Sayamdiyo, had come to the river for his bath. Seeing Sri Narasimha Saraswati, Sayamdiyo was overjoyed and prostrated at Guru's feet and started singing praises of him. When Sayamdiyo requested him to come to his house for food, Gurunath told him to invite the ailing Brahmin also for food. Sayamdiyo said he was afraid that the Brahmin might die if he fed him and he would then incur the Brahmahatya dosha. He has hardly taken any food yesterday and he is almost in death pangs now. Any food is almost like poison for that poor Brahmin, commented Sayamdiyo, thus expressing his apprehensions for inviting the Brahmin also for food. Gurunath told him that he need not have such apprehensions any longer. Gurunath graced the house of Sayamdiyo for the bhiksha along with his disciples and the ulcer patient. The Brahmin, who had not been able to eat even a morsel of food normally, was now able to eat at Sayamdiyo's house most sumptuously and with great gusto and relish. His chronic ailment, plaguing him for years on end, had now disappeared totally. Sayamdiyo and everyone wondered at this and realized that Sri Narasimha Saraswati was none other than Bhagwan Dhanvantari himself, who had come in human form. Jai Gurudeva.